Welcome back to part 2 of my PlayStation 1 collection. I'll put a link below to part 1 if you haven't watched it or you've missed it. And without any further ado, we'll just crack on and get looking at the rest of my PS1 games. Up next is another classic PS1 game and really good value for money, and that is Die Hard Trilogy. What can I say about Die Hard Trilogy? What a great game. This is 3 games in one. There's kind of a light gun game, which is the Die Hard 2 film. There's like a third person action game, which is the first film. And then I think the third section is a driving part for Die Hard with a Vengeance. Really, really, really kind of decent package. The third game, the driving one's not so great. But the light gun, the middle one, which was the light gun type game, one of the most fun games I've ever played. It's really good. Can't recommend it enough. Die Hard Trilogy, and of course they brought a sequel out to it, which is a lot lesser known, but actually just as good. And this is Die Hard Trilogy 2, Viva Las Vegas, and this has got like an original story to it. The first game kind of follows the films. This one doesn't. It's got its own original story, and again, it's actually really good. And in a lot of ways, this is better than the first one. Funnily enough, the light gun section in the original didn't support the PlayStation's light gun. Go figure. You used to use a controller. This one actually does, and it works really, really well. And the light gun section, this is brilliant, especially with the G-Con. So it's definitely worth picking up for that. Of course, you need CRT television to play it with the light gun, but the other sections are good as well. But yeah, I think in some ways I prefer this one over the original one. Next up, we've got I always call it Deconstruction. Destruction Derby 2. Great classic game. I've got the original somewhere. I'll drag that out in a minute. But yeah, Destruction Derby 2. One of the original and best PlayStation games. If you like smashing up cars. We've got 2 of my favourite games ever on any system here. And that is Soviet Strike and Nuclear Strike. I don't know if anyone's ever played the Strike games, like helicopter games. We've got to fulfill kind of objectives on a battlefield in your helicopter. Really, really tough games. I mean, still, even to this day, I struggle to get past the first level on this game, the Soviet Strike game. Again, must-haves for the system. Along with stuff like Metal Gear Solid. Talk about Metal Gear Solid. I haven't actually got Metal Gear Solid on the PS1. Again, it's not that it's hard to get hold of. I just haven't come across it at a price. Oh, excuse me, that was my phone. I just haven't come across it at a price I'm willing to pay yet. So, people kind of want 20 quid for it or whatever. And I'm pretty sure I can pick it up for less. And I will pick it up one day. But anyway, going back to these Strike games. These are brilliant games and you need to pick these up. This was a really good game that surprised me. I got this in a car boot about 2 or 3 months ago in a stack of games, and I'd never heard of it. And I got it home and played it. And it's a first-person shooter where you kind of play in this robot. It's called Kalik the Blood, and it's really, really good, and I highly recommend it. Graphically, it's pretty good as well. You know, it's kind of a Doom type game, but in space. Well, Doom's in space, but kind of in space stations, and it's very corridory. But it plays really well, and controls are really good on it as well. Definitely worth picking up. Got another Spec Ops game here. This is Spec Ops Covert Assault. Again, a little bit like Stealth Patrol. They're all very similar, all really tough, but again, if you like the Spec Ops games, and I used to love them, then this is definitely worth picking up. What is classed as probably one of the worst Star Wars games ever, but who cares? It's a lot of fun. And that is Star Wars Masters of Teräs Käsi, which is kind of Tekken, but in the Star Wars universe. But it's got to be, again, saw it cheap, picked it up. It's only a couple of quid, and it's just a good one to have in the collection. And pretty much if anything's got Star Wars written on gaming-wise, I'll pick it up, and if I haven't already got it. So... was made up. I got the. Unfortunately, the front of this case is cracked. But apart from that, I was made up to get that. This cost me £1 at a car boot sale, and that is Doom, the original Doom, in its double case as well. Totally complete. The disc was in absolutely immaculate condition. So is the book. The only thing that was wrong with it is there's a slight crack there on the case, as you can see. But yeah, love Doom. Well, Doom's Doom, isn't it? What can you say? Everyone loves a bit of Doom. And this is a really good version of it, but it's just plays really well. It's just classic Doom. So we got the original Tony Hawk skateboarding. A lot of people still say this is the best one. I'm between this and 3. I like Tony Hawk 3 as well, but this is certainly a really good skateboarding game, and probably still has got the best levels on it. We've also got Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, obviously the sequel to that. Just did everything that one did, but added to it. Overboard. I've done a video once before on this game. Love this game. You're in this little ship and you're going round, and there's all other ships. It's kind of from above shooting you, and you've got these cannonballs, and you've got to take. It's all very cartoony, but a lot of fun. Much underrated game. Just a really, really fun game to play, Overboard. Got R-Types. Everyone knows what R-Type is. Classic kind of shmup. This is a collection that came out. This is pretty actually hard to get hold of. Actually, I was lucky to find this. I think it was in like a cash converters or something for a couple of quid. But this is this has got like, I think it's got two games on it. It might be more. I don't know. I think it's got two games on it. It's got a couple of R-Type games on it. So if you like the old shoot 'em ups, it's nice to have like a collection with them on. WDL, World Destruction League Thunder Tanks. Yeah. It's shit. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's not very good. Hydro Thunder. I remember playing this. It's a classic Midway arcade game. Used to play it on the arcade back in the day. Used to go to the arcades. This was one of the machines in it. Of course, the old boat one. Saw it, picked it up. Just a classic arcade game. I love the old arcade games, and this just took me back to being a kid. So. Cool Borders 2, the best. I can't get it. So it's got this label on here. I can't get the label off it. £23. Don't know when that was stuck on. Obviously a long time ago. Yeah, I just can't get this label off. I should get some of that stuff, but I haven't managed to get around to do it. Plus this case is all broken, so I think I'm just waiting to get another case for this. But yeah, this is Cool Borders 2, the best. Still probably the best. Up there with the SSX, I think. The best snowboarding game ever made, or one of them. Absolutely fantastic. Cheesy as hell. I mean, it hasn't aged well. It looks awful now. But again, I used to murder this game back in the day when I had my original PlayStation. Another Army Men game. Lock and Load. Can't tell you that much about this one because I don't know if I played it. Oh, the one thing I do like about this guy, I've played it. And one thing I do like about this game, this particular Iron Man game, is you get to go in a submarine in certain places and go around kind of underwater. So that's a lot of fun. And then we get to some of the more. Oh, another Army Men game, Amiga Soldier. Oh, yeah, I didn't even know I had this. To be honest, I thought I only had like 2 Army Men games on the PS1. Yeah, Amiga Soldier. I can't tell you that much about it because I don't think I've even played it. And then we got some Grand Theft Auto. So we got Grand Theft Auto 2, the original Grand Theft Autos, of course. And I also got Grand Theft Auto London, which I'm pretty gutted actually because it doesn't have the poster. It came with a poster originally. Mine doesn't have the poster. But I'm not too bothered. It's not a game that I probably play that much anyway. I'm not a massive fan of the original Grand Theft Autos, if I'm honest. But, you know, it's nice to have them in the collection. These are pretty cheap, so... Soul Blade, another great sort of fighting game. It's basically Tekken with swords. Very much sort of the original Soul Calibur game, if you like. Reminds me very much of Soul Calibur. Again, another one of my favourite games ever that I've always banged on again. I've talked about this once before on my channel. Is Forsaken. If you like Descent or anything like Descent, you'll love Forsaken. It's a great kind of subterranean shooter where you go in all caves underground and volcanoes and things like that, and there's tanks and things trying to kill you, and you've got to take them out. Really, really good game. And I can think I'm a big kid for having this in my collection. Toy Story 2. Now I'll tell you something. This is on Platinum. This is one of the best platforming games you'll ever play. Don't write it off because it's a Toy Story game. It's absolutely fantastic game. And pretty tough in places. And of course you play Buzz, but you've got his laser, and all the Toy Story characters are there, and it's just such a fantastic game. And this is a classic. This game. It's really worth picking up. I've got Croc. I don't really remember that much about this one back in the day, except it being really quite a solid platformer, along with what was the other one? That Gex Enter the Gecko, which is another game I'm trying to get hold of, but very similar in the vein of Gex. Of course, got to have Micro Machines V3, the classic Micro Machine game, hard as nails, but Codemasters, just a great game. Coming near to the end now, not too many left to go. So some of these others are on plot. Well, I'll go through these ones. Yeah. So of course, again, I stated before that Resident Evil 2 was probably one of my favourite games on the system. Well, this is my favourite game on the system. This is the game that kind of made me go, I'm getting a PlayStation 1. Actually no, this came out after I already had one, but this was just this is one of the first games that ever blew me away, and that is the original Tomb Raider. Now, it's no secret that I'm a massive Tomb Raider fan, but there's not much you can say about this game, is it? It's almost perfect, the perfect game as far as I'm concerned. Back in the days when single player mattered, you know what I mean? When playing on your own, it's kind of the Indiana Jones of games, isn't it? It's got to be there in your PS1 collection. I'm lucky. This is the original 2-disc. Again, really almost mint condition, and I got this in like a charity shop again for like £2 or something. So I was lucky to get this. And then, of course, you've got Tomb Raider. You've got to have some of the other Tomb Raiders. So I've got, if I can find it, Tomb Raider 2. Now, unfortunately, I've only got this on Platinum. It's still got its original 2 for £30 sticker on. I've got this on Platinum. I am after getting the Black Label version of it if I can. I mean, I'm not that bothered about Platinums, but with Tomb Raider, I probably would rather have the original versions. So Tomb Raider 2. And I've got Tomb Raider 3. Another classic game. And of course Tomb Raider The Last Revelation, which you can also get on the Dreamcast if you can find it, but much better with 2 sticks. Much easier to play when you've got both sticks. And of course Tomb Raider Chronicles, which is probably the weakest out of all of them games, but still a decent game. And still better than The Angel in the Darkness, which came out on the PS2. We've got Spider-Man. Really, really good Spider-Man game. Much underrated. I'm only looking over here because I have got the sequel to it somewhere if I can find it. Yeah, so I've got Spider-Man. Really good PS1 game. Loads of it. It's not an open world game. You're not in a big open city. There are elements of that within the game, but it's still really, really fun game to play. And you kind of crawl around on ceilings, webbing bad guys out, and it's really cool. And of course, there's the sequel, which is Enter Electro, Spider-Man 2, another really good game. And then we've just got a couple more and we're done. So we've got The original Destruction Derby. Now used to look again. I love me racing games. This is a game I used to hammer back in the day. V-Rally. Used to love this game. This is a hard game. It's funny, at the time I don't remember it being that hard, but when I played it recently again, it was just rock hard. I was just hitting back. You know, this is back in the days where if you went into like a bush, you bounced off it, you wouldn't drive through it. You know, it wasn't all realistic like it is now, where if you hit a bush, you kind of drive through the bush. In these games, you'd hit a bush and it would take you out it would totally take you out of the race. It would write your car off. And of course the sequel V-Rally 2. There is a V-Rally 3 that come out on the PS2 which I've never actually picked up. I've seen it loads of times. I've just never really picked it up. So I need to pick that one up. Buster Move 2. Great puzzle game. This is great for just, you know, getting a beer, kicking back, take breaks. I don't have to think about it. Nice bit of puzzle. Shooting these little things. It's, you know, it's basically the original Candy Crush. Time Crisis, the original and probably the best light gun game. Again, you need that CRT, you need that original television and the light gun. Great game. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, really good sort of platform. Really tough, this game. Easy, you know, really tough. Even hard to get past the first level, but you know, if you like a challenge, and I do like a challenge, decent game, worth picking up. One of the best games on the system. Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. This is a must-have game for the system. Or the Dreamcast, if you can pick up on the Dreamcast. Probably slightly better looking on the Dreamcast, but this is a fantastic, really good game. I think it was out on the PC as well. The original Grand Theft Auto. It's GTA, what can you say? Oh, now here's a game that's not that well known, but I really like, and that is Chase the Express. And again, this is kind of I suppose gameplay wise, it's not unlike, again, Resident Evil, where it's got those set camera angles and things like that. But the premise of this game is the president's on this train, and the train's been taken over by terrorists, and you've got to rescue him. It's basically that Steven Seagal film. I can't remember what it's called. Under Siege. It's basically Under Siege, but... Or was it Under Siege 2? It was on a train. One of them was on a train. Basically Under Siege 1 or 2, but on a game. So... Got the original Medal of Honor. Brilliant. I've talked about Medal of Honor before. Again, you know, this game is fucking hard. Even now, you play this game, it's hard. Because you die in this game, you just go back to the beginning of the level again. And the long levels, some of the levels can take you 20 minutes to get through. But, you know, it's, you know, well, I say 20 minutes, even longer than 20 minutes. But, you know, just so good. And so ahead of its time. I mean, graphically at the time, this just totally blew me away. I thought it was amazing. I mean, look at it now, it's not amazing, but, you know, back at the time, I just thought this game was graphically amazing. Alien Trilogy, brilliant game. Value for money. I think there's something like 60 levels in this game. Alright, it's 60 levels of doing exactly the same thing, but I'll tell you what this game is, it's still fucking scary. Really scary, this game. Even now, you put this on in a dark room, you've got that movement sensor thing going off, and there's these little face huggers running toward you. You will shit yourself playing this game. It's really scary. And again, it's really tough. Of course, you've got to have Ridge Racer, the first game that ever came out for the PS. If you look at it, it actually says no 1. I think it does. If it will focus, I don't think the camera's going to focus, probably because I'm moving it. But it's the first game ever to come out for the PS1. It's dated quite badly. It's not a great looking game, but it's, you know, it's still fairly decent to play. So, Road Rash, what can you say? It's Ridge Racer but on bikes and with punching people in the face. True Pinball. If you like pinball, this is really good. I do like pinball. And the last game in my PS1 collection, I think, unless I've got some up there that I haven't brought down. No, I think this is the last one. Is Colin McRae Rally, the original Colin McRae Rally, and still the best as far as some people think. This is absolutely brilliant. It still looks great as well graphically. I mean, a lot of people go, no, it doesn't. But you know, if you compare like when this came out and what it looked like when it came out, it's still got the handling. It still plays fantastic. It's just a brilliant game. So there you go, Colin McRae Rally. And that's it. That's my PS1 collection so far. I'm still collecting. There's still games out there I want to get. I want to get Metal Gear Solid. I'm after Pandemonium. Anyone knows what Pandemonium is? It's the little jester game. Pandemonium 1 and 2. There's quite a few other games that I'm after as well. Siphon Filter 2 and 3. So I haven't got the complete collection that I want. Obviously, there's people going to go, you haven't got Final Fantasy. Now, Final Fantasy is a game. Final Fantasy 7 is one of the games I actually got with my console when I bought it originally. And it's the only Final Fantasy that I'd probably buy again. I'm not into Final Fantasy at all, to be honest. But I did like Final Fantasy 7. I can't say I've really ever played any of the others, but I did quite like it at the time and I would pick it up. But again, it goes for about 20 quid and I'm not going to pay 20 quid for Final Fantasy. So, yeah, that's probably one of the games that probably people should be on the list. Another game that I did have, and a lot of people will be saying it's sacrilege, is Castlevania. I actually had it, but it wasn't complete, so I sold it. I had the PAL version, but it was missing the bonus disc, and it didn't have the original manual in it. It had a Japanese manual in it, and so I did sell it, because that's just the way I am. If it's not the proper version, and it has got the proper book in or the proper discs in, I won't keep it. So that's just the way I am. Anyway, thank you for watching my PS1 collection, and I shall be back with another video soon. At some point, we may get cracking on my PS2 collection, which is considerably larger than my PS1 collection, but we'll just have to see how that one goes. Alright, take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you later.